Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For my video today I am talking shoes again, and I will be doing a comparison video between two very popular designer style shoes, the Manolo Blahnik Hangisis and the Jimmy Choo Bings. So these are recent additions to my shoe collection. I'll give you a little bit of a back history on them. I was interested in getting a neutral pair of dressy pumps, and I had been stalking websites for the Hangisis for a while, but I wasn't really sure. And then I saw these in this neutral color and I kind of flipped over them. And so back in December, I ended up getting these rather than these. And then when I received them, I wasn't quite sure that I wanted to keep them. There were a couple things about them. One thing is that they're a mule. The other is that the heel is very, very high. So I debated a little bit, thought about sending them back, but ultimately I decided to keep them because they are just so beautiful that I thought I really wanted to have them in my collection. And then I was very fortunate that my husband bought me these for Valentine's Day. So now I have both in my collection, and I thought it was the perfect opportunity to compare and contrast these two shoes, which are really very similar as far as like the style or the idea of them goes, but there are some differences, and that's what I'm going to talk about right now. So we're going to begin with the Jimmy Choo Bing. So obviously this is a mule. It is very pointy-toed, and it does have this beautiful strap across the middle of these gorgeous Swarovski crystals. So that, of course, is the big feature of these shoes. It's beautiful. These crystals really shine, and if you are wearing these shoes somewhere where there's a lot of shiny lights and chandeliers, they're going to sparkle like crazy. So the shoe itself is quite beautiful. Bings, however, do not come in that many heel options. They do have a flat mule, then they have a heel that is about a 65 millimeter, and it does tend to look like a kitten heel, and then there is the 100 millimeters. And this was one of the reasons why I wasn't sure I wanted to keep them, because they were so high. And lately, past couple years, I have been kind of trying to tone down the heel height of my shoes just to save my feet. You know, I'm on my feet all day, and this is a very high heel indeed. However, they are quite beautiful, and for a heel this high, they are pretty comfortable. They do come in options as far as the material goes. I have seen them in regular leather, crocodile print, patent leather, as well as some lace, but that is about it as far as the options go for the heels. So if you're looking for a little bit of a shorter heel, you're out of luck when it comes to the Bings. And these do retail about $9.95. And I would highly recommend, if you were looking for these, to shop around, because they do go on sale pretty regularly. Now, as far as the Manolo Blahnik goes, these have been around forever. I feel like they're at least 20 years old. I could be wrong about that, but I feel like they've been around a very long time. Obviously, they are primarily sold in satin, but your heel options for this heel is going to be really good. So they come in flat, and then there is a 50 millimeter, which is very much a kitten heel. There's a 70 millimeter, a 90 millimeter, which is what these are, and this is the perfect height for me. I love this heel height because it's high enough without being killer, and so I chose the 90. But there's also a 100, and then there's a 105, and Lord have mercy, there's also a 115, which I don't know how anybody could wear that, but kudos to you if you could walk around all day in a 115 millimeter shoe, because I could not. But you get loads of options when it comes to the heel height, and then there are also a lot of different options when it comes to the material. Obviously the satin is the most popular, but I have seen them in lace, I've seen them in velvet, grosgrain, printed, like with patterns and stuff on them. So you do have a lot of options. And the thing that makes these stand out, of course, is this gorgeous little buckle emblem on the front that is full of crystals. So both of these shoes glimmer like crazy. So if you're looking for something really sparkly, you can't go wrong with either one, because the quality of the crystals is really beautiful. I have worn these to work already a couple times. So basically they are a dressy shoe, but I kind of dress them down a little bit. And I have to say, like, even in, you know, at work with the really icky lights that we have on the ceiling. These sparkle like crazy. Like they're actually distracting because if you catch sight of your foot as you're walking, like, ooh, these are stunning. So they really are beautiful. And they also shine and glimmer like nobody's business. So either one of these, if you're looking for something super dressy, you can't go wrong with those. Now, the heels on both of these are really stable. Like this one is skinnier, as you can see. I'm gonna try to hold them up so that you can see. So the Bing is a little bit skinnier at the tip, but the Manolo Blahnik has like an extra exaggerated tip on it. So that makes them pretty stable. Although I do have to say, and this is maybe just a weird thing that I have noticed, is that Jimmy Choo shoes are very sturdy on my feet. Like I never feel like my ankle is wobbling. Whereas the Manolo Blahniks, as beautiful as they are, they're not quite as like centered on my foot as the Bing is. But that just could be a personal choice. So by the way, if you were wondering about sizing, I always wear a 37 in Jimmy Choo, and that's what I have here, and they fit me fine. And I did go for the 37 in the Manolo Blahnik after reading a couple of different reviews. They're all over the place when it comes to Manolo Blahnik, so I cannot really advise you as to what size to get, except perhaps maybe try 2 sizes to see which one is going to work for you. But I went with my standard size because I thought, well, I usually can't go wrong with the 37, and they fit me perfectly. So I was very fortunate because I had read reviews that said size up. I read reviews that said size down. I listened to reviews that said the number of dots on the back has an effect as to how they fit. So all of that may or may not be true, but for me, I went with my standard size 37 and they fit me perfectly. So these are obviously made of satin, which is going to be a little bit of a more challenging material to keep clean, whereas these being leather that has like this mock croc on it, they should be pretty easy to keep clean. However, then you do have the danger of stepping in something and messing up your heel, which I hate to do. Am I the only one? When I do that, I feel like I've ruined my shoes completely. It makes me crazy. So which ones would I recommend? Okay, as far as styling goes, I feel like both of these shoes really do give you a lot of options. I did mention that I dressed them down a little bit for work, so I wore them with some skinny pants and a blouse, and I thought they looked fantastic. You can do the same with these, of course. But the one thing that I do have to caution you about the Bing, and this was one of the reasons why I was thinking of sending them back, is that you cannot wear a stocking with these. So if you're someone who likes to wear pantyhose, I like to. I'm a little older. I'm not, 100% thrilled with my legs these days, and so I always feel like pantyhose make them look a little nicer. And you cannot wear a stocking safely with a shoe like this because you're going to slip and slide and walk out of them and break your ankle and the whole bit. So that was one other reason that I was thinking of returning them. So now I've kind of resigned myself to the fact that if I am going to wear these, I'm going to do it with pants, and I can see these with straight leg pants. I could see them with skinny pants. I could see them with bell bottoms or flare pants. I really do think that they are quite versatile and are going to go with just about any sort of pants that you can wear with them. As far as a dress or a skirt goes, if you're comfortable with your legs bare, then by all means these will go with just about anything. Now for me, I'll probably wait until the summertime when I have a fake tan, and then I will be able to wear them with this skirt. So that's just something to note about the Bings. Whereas the Manolo Blahniks, you can wear these with stockings or pantyhose or whatever if you wanted to, or you can wear them barefoot, which I did a couple times already, and I was quite happy with the comfort of these. They are padded in the toe, they are padded in the heel, they're padded in the arch, so they do have a lot of nice padding in them, and so do the Jimmy Choo. And again, for these prices, you definitely would expect that from a shoe. By the way, these are running somewhere in the neighborhood of $11.95 now, depending on the colors. So these are slightly more expensive than the Bings, but again, do some wise shopping and look out for sales. Rue La La is a great source for these shoes, as well as Blue fly.com, so do be conscious of that. If you are interested in getting these, you might have to wait a little bit for your size or wait for your color or heel height. But if you're not in a hurry to get them and you're just shopping for them to have them in your collection, then I would definitely recommend waiting around a little bit, and you might be able to get them on sale for a reasonably good price. Okay, so let's talk about grading. I'm going to go first in with the looks of these shoes. So this is going to be out of a scale of 1 to 10, and both of them are very, very beautiful shoes. I'm going to give the Bing a 10 because I think it is unique, I think it is fashionable, I think it is stunning, and I think it's very, very well made. So I'm going to go with the 10 for the Bing, and I know this sounds like sacrilege, but I'm going to go 9.5 for the Hangisi, and that is only because they've been around for so long that they tend not to look as fresh and fashionable anymore. But they are a classic, so I couldn't really grade them down much lower than that. So I gave them a 9.5 out of 10, only because they're not the latest and greatest style of shoe. Now, as far as comfort goes, I'm going to say that these are a pretty solid 7. As you can see, I have like a little ball of the foot pad in there on my right shoe. My right foot is just a tiny bit smaller than my left, and so I usually have to do that to make the shoes fit perfectly. But as far as comfort goes, I would have to say that these are a solid 7. Obviously, they are stiletto heels. You're certainly not going to be able to run around with them or anything, but I wore them comfortably all day long with minimal discomfort, and so a 7 is a really good grade for that kind of shoe. Now, as far as the Bings go, I'm going to take it down a little bit and say they're about a 5.5 or a 6. A couple issues are, first of all, it's a very, very high heel, which I've already mentioned, which puts a lot of pressure on the ball of your foot. And the other thing that I did notice, now I have a very high arch on my foot, which means that the top of my foot also arches pretty high, and I do sometimes struggle a little bit with these straps that go across. So when I was walking in them, I did notice that sometimes these the setting for the crystals would brush my foot a little bit and dig in a little bit of the area. So for me, these are definitely going to be a little bit less comfortable than the Hangisi. So like I said, right about a 5.5 or a 6, but of course that would depend too on your situation and whether or not things that go across the top of your foot can be irritating to you. But for a very high heel, I don't think a 6 is a very bad grade. Okay, next up, as far as your options go, as far as colors and materials, I'm going to give a 10 to the Hangisis because you have so many options. Whatever your heel height preference is, whatever look you're going for, you can find the material, you can find the color, and the colors of these shoes are absolutely beautiful. I do have to say the satins, they're like jewels when you look at them. Some of the most gorgeous colors of red and orange and green and blue that I have seen. So absolutely loads of options when it comes to the Hangisis. And for the Bing, I'm going to say about an 8. They do have some beautiful color options as well as a couple material options. But again, the fact that they don't have as many heel heights available, especially something like in the 3-inch range, which would have been perfect for me. So for that reason, I give it a slightly lower grade than the Hangisis. And finally, for versatility, they really both can be dressed up or dressed down. For instance, in the video, I am wearing both of these shoes with a simple pair of straight leg jeans and a sweater. You can't get much more traditional and ordinary than that, but just wearing these shoes really dresses them up. So I would absolutely pop these on with something super casual, but you can also wear them with something dressy, obviously. Now, as far as versatility goes as to the weather that you can wear them in, well, that's a whole different story because obviously the Jimmy Choos being in leather are going to be a little bit more durable than the Hangisis, which are in satin. And I'm a little bit nervous about these, to be honest with you. I'm very mindful that I'm not really like eating or drinking anything that could fall on my shoes because I know that they would stain the satin and I would be crushed. So you definitely should keep that in mind if you were buying the satin ones especially. But as far as, you know, running errands or anything like that, these are absolutely not the shoes for that. So I would say the Hangisis are perhaps a little bit less, I don't know. I feel like they're probably both about a 5. Like, you know, you have a lot of options when it comes to the colors and so forth. You can dress them up or dress them down, but neither one of these shoes is the kind of shoe that I would definitely be running around and doing errands. I don't know if these would be like the kind of dance all night kind of shoes at a wedding. They would definitely be a kick them off and a dance barefoot kind of shoe. So maybe about a 5 for Versatility. And as far as price point goes, again, they're about a $100 to $200 difference for these shoes, all very expensive shoes, but shop around and you should be able to find a pair at a better price. So that is it for my comparison today between the Manolo Blahnik Hangisis and the Jimmy Choo Bings. I hope it was helpful for you. If you have any comments or questions, do leave them down below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video, guys. Take care.